UVA using 13 threes, hitting 13 threes en route to a 12-point victory. T-Dubs, I know you saw more of the game than I did.
We did not cover as a spread buster at the end there.
What was it? 1?
13. It was 13.
No, I know. So we lost by 1. So the spread lost by 1. And Reece took the second shot, right? So somebody was in Reece's ear. Clearly, the Vegas was talking to Reece. Take that shot. The UVA people. I don't know how Vegas does on that. Do they do well on that? Do more people take the points tonight, or more people take the
I don't know. I mean, they usually push for evens, right? Like they try to get even on both sides, and then they take the spread, the commission. So I don't know how. I have no idea how all of that stuff works. I just watched the spread. We've not been close on the road this season. This one obviously was dead on. As the season goes, the lines get better and better as they get more data. But that was a good game. Like we had them arm's length all game. It was a good game.
You know, the odds makers are so good. We should all just say when they say the spread is 13 or 12, we should just go within 1 or 2 points of that. I said 9.
End of the year, yeah.
I said 9, and it should like just say 13 or 12. When they predict 13 or 12, you're gonna be very close almost always. They're ridiculously. It's amazing how good they are.
So the things that I noticed this game, obviously Groves got really comfortable first half, hitting everything. Rohde was scoreless again. Definitely didn't even look to shoot. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know. That's definitely a Jay Willie question. But Reece was, really took control of the game on both sides of the court. Ryan played great on defense. He just looked solid. Jordan Minor again solid down low. Isaac played well. We just kind of had a nice all around game and took control.
Ryan
I wouldn't say dominant, but we were just like arm's length. We kept them at arm's length all game.
Yeah, Ryan only took 1 shot the entire game. Yeah. Rohde took 3. Minor seemed like when I was watching, he seemed like he was a lot of offensive rebounds, providing some toughness. A lot of 3 offensive rebounds. Maybe they're all in that stretch too. And but it was tonight was the Grove and Beekman show.
Dante looked really good too. Dante was quick, and he got to the rim. He made a couple of nice moves, a nice block. Tane had a couple of nice buckets too.
Yep.
So I think a lot of people contributed. It was a big difference between the last time we played them and this one.
And it should have been the same way like last time we played them, but only being a team like that in 12 by 12. And I don't know how many minutes Reece played, but that's a game where Reece, you got to play him. You got to hope. You got to you got to hope to Lance Payton saying T-Dubs.
I'm freezing.
It's San Francisco, Lance.
Yeah, it is. It's cold out for California. It's cold. It's probably in the 50s.
But right. But I think he's more talking about, like, I don't know, maybe have your windows open in that crib.
Yeah, I was wearing a tee earlier and I was freezing, so I just threw this on. Plus, I'm having that kind of hair day. Look at this.
Oh, me too. I'm time for a haircut. But it's a team that what? Overreaction Wednesday. Grove's the best shooter in history. I'm gonna see the young man. Did somebody say that, or Bill's just?
No, I think Bill's just going over the top.
Okay.
Offense taking shots earlier in the shot clock.
You never know with people on the forum.
Ryan's shot was an offensive tee. Yeah, he didn't even really try to shoot it. It was like a tip in.
Wow.
They should try that lineup. Reece, Imac, Dunn, Groves, Minor.
Well, Joe, go back to Joe's comment for a second. There was some talk with that lineup, and that was a lineup that was used. I can't remember which game it was. It worked.
Yeah, when we started, really, the start of this win streak started with that, right?
It worked for a while, right? And then the next game we didn't really see it.
I think it was the Tech game. We tried that lineup a little more, and we were surprised.
Yeah,
that's what happens when we go big. I guess it gives growth.
And I think, Joe, that's going to be a lineup that may be used with some taller teams. And yeah. But before we go on to ND, yeah, Burton is a really special player. He really is.
I like it.
16, he's averaging 16. Completely agree. He's tough, but Notre Dame has nobody. Maybe the guy, Shrewsbury had a pretty good game tonight, but I don't know what he's been averaging. And Shrewsbury's only a freshman too. Wow. Um, and he's been averaging 26 minutes. That's a pretty good backcourt. Shrewsbury averaging 9 points. This kid can play, man. This kid Burton can play, but they don't have much else after him. So it's the point I'm making is we lose them at home at their place. We beat them by 12. It was a good win, but not a great win. It's a team maybe that we should be blowing. Like Notre Dame, I watched them play tonight, and I'm going, this is not a team that's much better than Louisville. Right?
Yeah, in terms of best performance, definitely not. I mean, we didn't. Ryan didn't have a great game. Rohde didn't have a great game. I mean, we didn't even put up that much. I mean, 65. It's definitely not our best performance, but nice to see us get a win for sure, though.
Always nice to get a conference win, right? Always great. But beating a team like that,
Mark, were you surprised that CTP didn't reward Jake for his first half play and start the
so
second?
Jen, I've talked about this a lot. That there are Tony Bennett will often reward or start somebody that's had a really good first half. I don't know, and maybe he should. Maybe with Rohde not having such a good first half, I'm assuming by his stat line, or maybe he just wasn't that effective. But then you're changing the lineup, and you're going Grove, Dunn, Minor, and Dunn and IMAC and Reece as your guards. So I don't know if he was ready to make that switch to start the second half. I don't know what the strategy is as far as how much he wants to use that lineup, how much he wants to play Dunn at the wing and on the perimeter. I'm not sure. So I needed this. I didn't win. I didn't see that much of a game. I was looking at the next point. Um, can we beat Clemson at their spot? So I'm not sure. I can't comment on that, Jen.
Can we pull off a much needed quad one win at Clemson?
Gotta be more consistent. You gotta play better against some teams like NC State at home, against Notre Dame. Like you gotta dominate Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's bad. That's like they're just not good.
They're really bad. They're like ranked 146 or something like that.
I'm watching them like in the last couple of minutes. The defense just threw the ball to Reece twice. I'm sorry, Notre Dame offense just threw the ball to Reece, just like right to him. Like who's playing out there? Like, what are we playing against? So I'm not sure why we can't like really stick it to a team like Notre Dame and just be hitting on all cylinders. Or rebound. Notre Dame got a couple offensive rebounds late, which is going to happen sometimes. I mean, the ball's just not always going to bounce your way. Burton got a lot of paint touches. I know I saw him score like 6 or 8 in the second half, and he's really by himself. And Reece is a great defender and a really good player, college basketball player. So I'd like to see the penetration be stopped. And I don't know that not too many people are going to penetrate on Reece that much. I don't know. It's going to be tough to beat against Clemson, whether we were playing at home or on the road, especially on the road.
Rohde was scared to shoot. It looked like he was scared to shoot. I don't know if you saw any of it, Mark. He was wide open a few times. Didn't even look at the rim.
Yeah.
Notre Dame played a bunch of close games. Quad 4 win at home, for sure. Yeah, this is what the team is. He's spotty on offense.
Completely agree. Right, which is why I saw that too. I was going to comment on that with 18 turnovers, and some of them are unforced, like just bad plays.
Seems like we have all, including me, forgiven. Yeah, time obviously a big factor in that, right? Like he did. Corey mentioned today why he has such a soft spot for refs. I thought that was interesting.
Soft spot for
refs. He said he used to ref on Saturdays at the Y in Waynesboro. So I don't know if he was still talking about his. I think he is, but yeah, you get over it after time. You kind of forget it happened, but I think he hasn't forgotten for sure. Harris needs to get on the gym and get extra shots and get in the gym, I think, yeah.
But Peggy, I've spoken with the coaches, and they say these guys get in the gym. This is not a team where Some guys just
He looked really good. I love the way he moves. He's so quick. He's so confident with the ball. Like it's
but he needs to I think one of the things he needs to do is be able to change pace a little bit more and shift gears a little bit more, where he's a lot of one speed, there's a lot of fourth gear instead of
right.
going fourth and second and third, right? And being able to be a little shifty. And I agree, his shot needs to develop more. And if he does that, he'll be
20
tremendous.
points off of our turnovers today. That's big time. Loves Grove's play, but wondering about Dunn. Any thoughts?
Not everybody's going to play a great game every game. He's
I
not.
mean, he didn't even really take a shot today.
Well,
So
that's the question.
yeah,
That's
he
what
might not have been. I mean, obviously, who knows what was going on, but he didn't. It's not like he tried to put up a bunch. We didn't
right.
really necessarily need him to. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Rohde, 12 minutes, 0-0, and 3 assists.
Yeah. I
Yikes.
think we have to understand who Rohde is. I think we really do. And I think that those minutes are going to become Dante's.
Yeah, why was Corey calling his? He always calls that guy Dougie Fresh. It's so confusing for us that know that he also calls our Dougie Fresh.
I
I guess
think also he needs
on
to get.
air is different. So
I think that we should all have a sit down with Corey and talk about. We can make a list of points. You're not allowed to talk to the referees during games,
right.
right? Stop calling your partner Dougie Fresh. There's only one real Dougie Fresh. First, that's two of the points I would make.
Next one. You guys don't sound so elated. I wouldn't say elated. Good. Happy to see us get a win. I think we expected a win tonight, a pretty big win. So this is what we expected.
I'll go
Thought
back
we
to
might a little more actually, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll go back to T Dub's the phrase the words T Dub's been using in the description of the team, the way he's been feeling about it. Cautiously optimistic,
Yeah.
right? A win, we got to win tonight. We got to beat this team. I think you got to dominate them more, right? And I'm not sure like what Ryan Dunn was feeling. I didn't see the game yet. I'll watch it later. So was he into it? Was he not into it? And maybe he's just waiting for the big games. Maybe he's getting excited for Clemson. Maybe he wasn't felt like he didn't need to impose himself tonight. But I think that, yes, win. Notre Dame's really bad. It's like beating Louisville. How are we going to be?
Right. You don't
And
take
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, Jim, because you always have great comments. But do we get so excited about beating a team that we should be beating by 25?
Notre Dame outscored UVA by 3 in the second half.
I agree, Tom. Yeah. And it's not just winning by 25; it's how you win, right? It's do you dominate? Do you really like control the game, the entire game? It went from I saw it like Notre Dame couldn't put in a basket. And it was like hanging around 10, 12, 14, 15, 10, 12, 14, 15. Got to dominate them.
Harris looked to be limping. Yeah, he did. He turned his ankle a little bit in the last game, so maybe some effects of that. Jim asking why are we beating up on Rohde? And I'm not beating up. It's just like expectations are kind of high. You get all those minutes, then you wonder. We're hoping we'd see more from him, I guess.
And I think he's going to play. He'll probably continue to play. I don't know if he's going to play 20, 25 minutes anymore, especially with Dante back.
Right. UVA etiquette.
BC.
Eric. Yeah, there we go, Eric. What's up? Lance, with Rohde being invisible, why does CTP? Why doesn't he give Bond a look?
It's a good question. It's a really good question.
I
think
one of those practice things too, right? We don't know what's going on in practice.
It could be, but I also think now's the time when he goes to 7, 8 guys. His rotation extends to 8 at max, right? It always has. And I think a lot of times prior to conference play, maybe you kind of play a few more guys. Once conference plays, and I think he actually extended the amount of guys he typically plays into conference. And now he's playing 8, 9 guys. Maybe he was playing 10, maybe 11 at one point, maybe 10. And now he's probably he's limited and reduced the number to about 8.
Howard with the note. I know everyone wants to start all the best offensive players, but I think Rohde off the bench doesn't do much. But other players coming off the bench can provide a spark.
That's a good point, Howard.
Yeah. I mean, I think Rohde, when I watch him, not great one-on-one like man defender, but like his help defense is good. You see him recover quickly. He's got a good knack for where to be. I feel like that's what's keeping him in the lineup all the time. Like he's
Yep.
a great help defender. We don't have a ton of those this year, and if you watch him, on fast breaks and transitions and recovering, he's really good at that.
Yeah.
You
He
gotta get
gets
into
at
that.
least
There's
50.
no stat for that stuff. He's
Right.
kind of just helping and recovering well and having good intuition, and I think TV loves that.
And I think that I think it was Jim that said earlier, Ryan defended really well. There's no stat for that. Right.
For sure. Cautiously pessimistic. Like, it's a good from David Turner. It's a good sign of health of UVA that we're grumbling about a quality home win. Positive that we have a legit bet. Yeah, for sure. This is totally true. Yeah, it's a great sign. CA can do no wrong. I can't wait till we get Corey and Walton on the call against Cal next year. That would be so good.
We got to hang out soon again. I'm coming to ATL soon.
I felt like at any moment Notre Dame could have taken over, even though we had the lead. Yeah, it's kind of like arm's length all game, never really in like one position. So,
but I go back to Julie. I don't know. I think if it were a different team, that would probably be true. Notre Dame they're just not good, right outside of Burton.
Joe, I see Rohde playing more PG next year. Interesting.
I don't know because I think Dante Harris is probably the starting point guard, and Christian Bliss might get some time next year. I spoke to Coach O, and he said he was coming along nicely. He's not super athletic, but he's got a high IQ and steady and strong. It's going to be curious to see where those backup minutes go next year.
And we got to make room for Chance Mallory. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, he's if he what is he? He's a junior, right? Is he a junior or senior? Chance?
I thought he was. Oh, maybe he is a junior. I could be wrong. I thought he was a senior, but I could be wrong.
But I don't know where he's going to commit anyway.
Who do we put on PJ Hall? I would assume Minor, but does Dunn have the ability to match up on Hall with his athletic ability? That's going to be the matchup right there. What are we going to do with PJ Hall?
He's tough, and he's not their only big.
A big body, yeah. I'm going to guess it'll be. I mean, it's got to be Minor or Dunn, a combination of those two. Give him a different look because he was one we circled early in the season. Like, ooh, that guy's tough. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to see how we counter that.
I don't know.
I'm worried about at Clemson, honestly, because players like Groves and Rohde and some of the newcomers, it's tough to expect them to play big on the road. I know it's like kind of a crapshoot, but at home, we tend to have bigger games from those type of players. So I expect Reece and Ryan and those to play big, but it's the other sort of supporting guys. You just don't know what you get on the road. It's tougher.
And it makes me a little nervous. They only won by 6 last night against Louisville. Right? So it's not like they're invincible. It's not like they're a super great team. But what makes me a little nervous is that PJ Hall was 0 for 6 from 3, and Joe Girard was 3 for 12, 2 for 7 from 3. Right? They went 5 of 21 for 3.
Right. Some comments about Bond.
They weren't saving it for.
Very highly of Rohde, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, again, Rohde is not. Let's understand who Rohde is as a player. Let's not have super high expectations of him when he's on the court. Let's temper our expectations. Let's know that he's going to be looking to pass. He's not going to be attacking.
Pitt beat Wake Forest. Interesting.
Yeah. We are 7-3, right? Duke, Carolina, Saturday. Let's say if we beat Clemson, we're either in probably 3rd place by ourselves. Well, I don't know. FSU 6-3, and I don't know who plays next, but it's still so early. I don't like doing this so early.
John, I don't know if I missed it, but was Notre Dame good from 3 because of defense, or is Notre Dame really good beyond 3? Yeah.
I didn't.
Last game, or just in general, it's definitely giving them wide open shots the last game.
But they were 9 of 18. They shot 50% from three tonight too.
Yeah. No, they have some nice shooters for sure. They stepped up with confidence too today.
Yeah. They hit. They missed about 5 or 6 straight shots, and could have cut the lead to 7 or 8 or 6 or something at one point. And fortunately, they missed, and they weren't bad shots. But again, they're just not that strong of a team.
Lance, not sure Dunn's big enough to guard Hall. It's probably a good point. It'd be maybe some Blake in there too.
Good point, Tom. But Lance, I don't know that Minor guards Hall on the perimeter. So I don't know what you do with him. He's a good player.
Chance is a junior.
That's a junior, somebody just said.
Congrats to Corey, inducted into Oak Hill. Yes, that's so cool. He posted the letter on Instagram that he got from Oak Hill. It's so cool. Yeah. Hall of Fame, and that program is very impressive. Reece, mistakes
steals.
At the end.
That's supposed to be steals. Yeah. Yeah, no, they were good, but one of them was thrown right to him, right? So, or maybe in two of them. Right.
I thought you said stakes were high because of your bet. The spread.
Yeah.
No, that'll be interesting. So next game at Clemson, gonna be a tough one. Definitely a tough one. I'm not expecting a win, but I hope we come out and play strong. See what these guys can pull one off on the road, because I think this is definitely one we're going to be underdogs. We'll see how we respond. It'll be nice.
What do you think? What do you think the number is, T-Dub? Oh, what do you think? It's somewhere between 5 and 8, and that's a pretty big range. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I was thinking 4, but yeah, maybe a little higher. Usually they give the road, if everything's even, they usually give the home team 6 points. So if the two teams are pretty even, the home team will get 6 points, and then you go from there. So we'll see. Jim Romeo said +7.
I think that's probably about where it's going to be too. I mean, when you look at UVA on the road against Wake Forest, who's probably the best team we played on the road in conference so far, I think. So far, if I'm not mistaken. NC State blew us up by 16. Wake Forest blew us out by 19. And then
Lance is wearing military gear, 90 minutes from his house to Clemson. Nice.
Lance, let us know if you want to go.
Amazing.
Support.
Yeah, I'm hoping we come out and we have some big performance from Groves or a role player on the road, and we pull out a win. That's really what I'm, fingers crossed, I'm hoping for. My guess it's going to be a loss though. If I'm betting, I'm gonna assume we're gonna lose this game, right? Like on the road, tough opponent, not a great matchup, big guy that might give us some problems. It just doesn't seem like the cards are in our favor, but I'm still thinking we have a chance. It's
with the adjustment. I'm sorry. With the adjustment of Minor and being able to have Dante Harris healthy, we're a different team. We've been a different team, right? Yeah. We haven't played anybody that strong, but we're in games. We're not. It hasn't been like we're falling behind, too far behind. I don't know if we win, but let's say we lose by 3 or 4. What's your feeling about the team at that point?
Good. If we lose a close one on the road, that's a great sign of improvement, right? Like the toughest team, we go on the road, we hang with them. I'm taking that as pseudo win, even though it probably really hurts us from our chances for March. Like we're gonna need a big win down the stretch here. I'm hoping it comes at Clemson, but if we lose this one, it's going to be an uphill battle, I think, because we've got Duke and UNC. We got it. Yeah, it just doesn't leave us much room for error down the stretch if we lose this one at Clemson. It'd be really nice to get this win, because that kind of puts us on the right side of the bubble. I feel like, but I could, it's early for that.
It's still early. I think there's still 10 games left or something like that. And still got BC, although BC beat Syracuse last night at BC, which is the last couple of years have been fairly tough. He's got at Virginia Tech. All the games, no easy games, right? Maybe Louisville. I'm sorry, Georgia Tech, last game of the season at home. But maybe they start playing better. Who knows? Maybe injuries play a factor. Hopefully not for us.
Here's Ned's question. Do you think we'll make the tourney? What's your gut, Mark?
I'm going to give more of a political answer than a straight yes or no. And I think that, all right, I'll based on this upcoming schedule, I'm going to say no. And partially because I read an article in The Athletic yesterday, and they're projecting only 3 teams from the ACC get in. And I've heard that from other people too. Yeah. So if 3 or 4 teams get in from the ACC, based on our record, based on how we're playing, it's going to be tough. I don't see it. I mean, you got Pitt at home, you got Wake at home. So still all good teams. Carolina at home. I mean, what record do we need to have for the remainder of the season? You have to win 6 out of 10 games, and right, and that gives us 20 wins, I believe. Right? I'm sorry, 22 wins.
21, right?
We're 16-5 now.
With 10 games left.
With 10 games left.
So you're saying if you win 6, I don't think we get in. If we win 6, I don't think we get in.
With 22 wins, that would be 11. That would be what I say, 6 wins. So that would be 9 losses.
Yeah, I don't think we get in. We'd have to go to the finals in the ACC tournament, is my guess.
And the problem is they're going to look at strength of schedule. So if you go 6-4 against that strength of schedule,
right,
1 game over 500, I think you got to be at a minimum 7-3.
Yeah,
and it can't just be you beat BC, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech. Those can't be the three of the 6 wins. I mean, of course, you got to beat those teams, but that means you're going, against the tougher teams. You're going. What's that? When I say 10, that means you're going out of 7 games. If you're winning 6, that means you're going 3-4 against tougher teams. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah,
I don't think that gets you done. I think
my prediction is we're going to get a play-in game. We're going to be an 11 seed, and we're going to get a play-in game in the tournament. I think we lose. Yeah, 6 out of 10 sounds. 6 wins to end this season sounds right, but I think we go and win a couple games in the ACC tournament, and we sneak in. Obviously, that's a hope and a dream. I think it's hard to expect this team to win the 7 out of 10 to end the year. That seems like a lot to ask given the schedule, but we'll see. I really hope. I think we'll make it. I don't know. My gut, if I had to bet, we'll make it. We'll make the tournament somehow. Play in.
That's based on. That's such a good question, Ned. And that's got to be the play-in has got to be like a credit to what we've done in the past, right?
Yes. I think if we're on the bubble, it's Virginia, it's TB champ. Now 2019 comes into play, and
is after that have been first round losses, right?
Yeah. We have a lot of first round losses,
right? And also style of play. Do people want to see Virginia play in the playing game? Are they going to have a following? I think the committee takes a look at some of that stuff too. What's the style of play, and what are the ratings for teams like that in the crowd?
From 2020 onward, we have played Clemson very well head-to-head. I think we've only dropped 1. Yeah, we do well against Clemson. Don't underestimate Rohde's stabilizing presence. Yeah, agreed. Dating back to 1/14/17, TB is 8-1 against Breno. Wow. Yeah, 1 loss.
Wow, that's amazing. It really is amazing.
Mark, you were talking about your buddy being positive and optimistic. I have a good feeling about the rest of the season. There we go.
They're playing better. We're playing better, right? What did Dumont say?
Yeah, Ned says 6 out of 10 would get us to 13-7. That gets us in.
The problem is 3 out of those 6 games.
Yeah.
3 out of those 6 games are, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, right?
I think
They
6
gotta
out
play.
of 10. And you got to win a couple in ACC tournament.
And if you lose, yes, and if you lose to BC, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech, if you lose to any of those teams or 2 of those teams, but you beat Duke and North Carolina, yes, you beat Duke and North Carolina, it's big.
Seth Greenberg says we're in. All right, I like that. Sean said this team is like the Walden Tensai team a few years ago, the one where Waldy hit the game winner at UNC. That would be disappointing if ACC only gets 3 teams, but
I agree. And I think there's still so much time left, so I think we may see some teams emerge late, right, from the ACC and start playing well.
Tom said that was Ryan Dunn's dad. I don't know what he's referring to.
I think some Sean Dunn. Was there a Sean Dunn? I'm not sure. He's talking about that.
Oh, Russ Dunn? No, that's not.
That's not Ryan's dad's name.
That's not right.
Dad's name is Ed, who does watch us.
He does, yeah. Shout out, yeah. He's been on our podcast. He came to our live event. Yep. Super nice guy.
Yeah, good.
Amazing. 2013, 2020, we beat really good Duke teams and went to the NIT. Yeah. Like the NCAA doesn't. We've talked about this before. Bad losses really hurt you, right? Like you can't make up for them. Ask Seth Greenberg. You can't have a good win and expect it to make up for a bad loss. If you have both, it hurts you. Like you lose to a bad team, there's not much you can do. You get quad 4 losses. Like there's not much you could do to make up for that. It just is a big stain. Doesn't matter if the rest of the shirt is clean. You just got a big stain on there. 2020, I love that team. We finished second in the ACC with a team that couldn't shoot. 2020 was the one where we were like on an 8-game win streak heading into COVID. Yeah. I like to count that as a national championship since we didn't have one.
Back-to-back champs.
Yeah, back-to-back champs. I'll come on y'all podcast. Russ done. Let's go. Well,
you're on, Russ.
Anything else, Mark, before we call it a night?
Oh, we're gonna get a Jay Woolley show soon. Some questions to ask that I think he's going to answer, like Elijah. What's his minute? What are his minutes? Is there a future for him this season? Talking about Rohde, what's the plan for him? And I think I've always said it, and it's always been my thought, and just in conversations with Tony Bennett and with Ty and some other guys. Every practice is an audition, right? So if you start playing really well in practice, you're going to get a shot. There's a good chance you're going to get a shot in the game to at least get a couple of minutes, earn a couple of minutes, right? And I think that's great because you get guys coming to practice ready to play hard. Right? It's not like you have some soft practices. So
Joe with Mark, how is Ty's ankle?
Joe, thanks so much for asking. Just had surgery last Tuesday. I think he's going to rehab, hopefully in New York. So I think it's doing okay. A couple of months, I think. So I'm not sure he's going to actually be able to return this year, but hopefully next year, which is a little bit upsetting because I've never seen them so confident going into a season. So part of the business.
Yeah, it's such a bummer. He's had, I feel like every time he gets ready to go on a run, he gets some little thing that sets him back, but he's got a 2-year contract, so fingers crossed here.
Need a couple more years. He's got to take care of his dad.
Last one. Not sure it's been covered, but the defined roles in this team make such a difference.
What are the defined roles for you?
the defined roles on this team in terms. I mean, I'm guessing what he means is um, Jordan Minor taking up the down low. That's a big one, right? Like having a real post physical presence there is really the biggest difference. I mean, and then Dante having a nice clear role as a backup point guard. Those two seem to really help this little run that we're on. So let's see. Like we could go on a run here at the end of the year. I don't want to sound like we're just Debbie Downers. This team can do it. Like it's got some weapons. We just got to get hot and we just got to meld. Like it's been a long time, probably since 2020, since a UVA team really got hot down the stretch, right? You look back with Trey and Sam, we had COVID and we had that stretch down at the end there. We weren't super healthy last year at the end of the year. Like when's the last time we were healthy and in a good stretch to end the year? It's been a while. Hopefully this is the year. You need a little bit of that magic in March, and maybe we can make it happen.
And the other thing is, when you play in a system and when you have a system, sometimes it takes a while for people to gel, and sometimes it takes people to understand it. Sometimes it takes people to get a little time to get used to it, and you start finding like who's excelling in that system. And when you play a system, especially one that concentrates on so much on defense, puts a lot of emphasis and focus on defense, you can stay in games. You can stay in games. The problem is this year's team is giving up a lot of outside looks, right, and open threes.
Right.
So we've got to figure out, and the rebounding may, I don't want to say solved, but it seems like we're rebounding much better.
For sure.
Right. And so, and that I think that maybe that perhaps that comes from Minor. And again, when we talk about contagious, we talked about in the pregame. And if he's coming to practice and knowing that that's why he's getting some minutes, and everybody's starting to rebound better, that certainly helps. But what makes me a little nervous is the open perimeter shots. And we play some teams like Clemson, who's got Joe Girard, who's got PJ Hall, and they've got Chase Hunter. Those are really good players.
Absolutely.
You can't give so many open shots to those guys.
The one thing I will say that I really like about this team is that there's a clear leader in Reece. End of the game, we know what's going to go down. You're going to hand him the ball, and he's going to figure it out. Whereas in the years past, I feel like we haven't really had that. So I feel like that bodes well for us down in March, for getting more. Let's just say we do get in the tournament. I imagine we're a tough team to scout, given how many different looks we can give. With maybe we get in the tournament, IMAC isn't the most obvious read, or Groves isn't the most obvious read on the scouting report. Maybe guys can get hot and Reece can take over at the end of games. We'll see. Positivity.
No, I think there's a lot to be optimistic about, but there's also very cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. That's where we are right now. It's all good. It's fun.
You need to move a little bit more, T.
What's that?
You need to move a little bit more towards optimistic.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. I like it. No, that's it. We appreciate everybody tuning in. 45 people at the moment. Have a good night. Always good to get a win. Go Who's, and we'll catch you Well, actually, we've been thinking about making other content. You guys tell us if that'd be interesting. We've been thinking about going live for like other ACC games. Maybe we will down the stretch here. If we're kind of on the bubble, we'll go live after other games and kind of tune in. I don't know. You guys tell us if that's of interest. We're actually thinking about a bunch of different, reasons to go live and kind of hang out like this. If that's of interest, leave a comment. Lance, obviously, everybody's saying more content.
Yeah, no, and great comments too from the audience. We really appreciate it. Somebody UVA's got some super smart fans.
Yeah, Howard said to go live during the game. That'd be crazy. I don't think you want to hear the curse words coming out of our mouths. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. It'll be fun. Do a live looking. We'll figure it out. More content from Jim. Ray says yes. All right. Yeah, we've been thinking about going live and doing more content. So we'll figure it out. Get the bill. Definitely get the bill out. I mean, it might be just an extended bill for depending on the game.
And depending on who's on live.
Yeah. We'll fix Fresh's given his microphone situation, we can't even hear if he's cursing, so that's probably a good thing. Shout out Dougie Fresh. All right. Well, we'll get out. Appreciate all the comments, feedback. I saw one about my dad's article. Appreciate you on that one. Anyway, we'll catch you. I guess it's Saturday. Saturday. Let's do it.
Saturday too is the game, so we'll be on at 1:30.
Yep. Have a good night. We'll catch up later. Go Who's.